Well, Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Yahweh, Baruch atah Adonai Yahshua, Baruch atah Adonai Yahweh, Baruch atah Adonai Yahweh, Agape Shalom. Today is Sabbath. It's right now 9:30, I believe it is, at night, and it has become Sabbath. And Sabbath is a good thing. Sabbath is a great thing because that means we can rest. We can actually take a breather and rest. As always, I do my Sabbath video the night of Sabbath, the start of Sabbath. And I try to get as much rest as I can because I'm always busy doing something. I love it. I enjoy it. But I want to talk to you tonight about basic logic. In the 1950s, it was believed and it was stated and it was agreed upon, especially during World War II, if you were found to be a homosexual, you were found to be a pedophile, you were found to be grooming, you were found to be any of those things, you were considered to have a mental disorder. And in churches, they called it a demonic disorder, that you were demon-possessed. The reality is that that's pretty much what it is. It's pride. It's selfishness. As we know, the greatest sin of all is selfishness. The sin that Lucifer committed was selfishness. I shall be of the Most High. I shall be greater than God. I shall raise my star above God. I shall be far above God, and all shall worship me and I. That's what selfishness is. That's what pride is. It is the ultimate sin. It is the creation of sin itself. It is my will is more important than God's will. And back in the 1940s and the 50s and the 60s, we found that through psychological studies that homosexuals were demonically possessed and or oppressed or just mentally ill. That they literally were mentally ill. That they had mental disabilities, mental worries, to a point that they weren't allowed to join the military. They weren't allowed to do anything. They were put in mental hospitals. They were treated with that stigma, that disability. And that's pretty much the right way to deal with it. It is a mental disability. It is I'm choosing to be something that I am not. They say, well, the animals do it. No, the animals insert dominance with animals. But even then, you don't see it happen. Do you see a lion with other lions? No, you see a lion with a pride of female lions, otherwise known as lionesses. Do you see bears with other bears? No. You see bears by themselves a lot, and the female bears raising their cubs alone. You rarely see a parent-coupled bear. You will see the snow fox. Now, the snow fox is an animal that is known to mate for life. And once the snow fox finds his or her mate, they will not leave their side until they die. A wolf pack is usually created of one wolf with multiple wolves. And he will have brothers that will be part of his pack, but he will also have children as part of his pack. And he has a queen, a wolf that is his female partner. That's who the leader of the wolf pack is usually with a female partner. They don't have orgies. They don't do stuff like that. They're not disgusting creatures. We find no creature in nature that spends any time with a sexual exact as though it was its mate. Nowhere in animal kingdom is that found. So if we're saying that humans are animals, then we are not animals. Then we go to the reality that what does this cause? This causes low birth rates. Well, we know from what's going on with Catholicism and how demonics actually act and how Satan feels about babies, that killing babies or stopping from reproducing is a satanic demonic act to begin with. Stopping yourself from having kids is a demonic act in itself. And if you are doing that through physical castration, or you are doing that through emotional castration, or you're doing that because you're giving yourself to something that you should not be giving yourself to, you are committing a demonic, selfish act. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. It's very real. It's very, very true. Your body is designed to help other people. You are designed by God to help those around you. And one of the ways that you are designed to help those around you is by reproducing. That's why abortion is wrong, homosexuality is wrong, castration is wrong. Okay? Of any form of faction. But yet, we say, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We just want to get married. Now we want to touch your little boys and little girls. Now we want to go after your babies. And there's a reason God gave me a gun. There's a reason I have swords. There's a reason I have a bow. There's a reason I have arrows. There's a reason I have 2 hands. You touch my child. You touch children around me. You're abusive around me. You become aggressive towards innocent people around me. I will drop you. And you are going 6 feet under. That is a Christian, biblical way to be about it. Moses stoned people for things like that. The Jews during Jesus' time stoned people for acting in a way that. In the European culture, if you were found to have any of those tendencies or desires, until like the 1400s, you were considered an outcast and you were considered disgusting, and they'd probably kill you, more likely kill you, until the upper class of Europe and France and Germany started having orgies, which caused a lot of other problems, and incest orgies in England, which caused a lot of other problems in royalty as well. We know that these things are unhealthy for us. We know that these things are not good for us. But yet we go and do it anyways. Not because it feels good, but because we want to be rebels. You want to be a rebel to the king of this world? Become a Christian. Give your life to a mate who is your opposite gender. Your opposite sex. A female. You're a man, she is a woman. Homosexuality is straight out wrong. Polygamy is straight out wrong. These things are straight out wrong. These things are straight out demonic. They are evil. They are wrong. And they are not of God. And this society is crumbling just like Sodom and Gomorrah was crumbling until it was utterly destroyed, because it is allowing homosexuality and now pedophilia and child abuse. I mean, we've been allowing abortion, which I massively do not agree with. That's murder. Let me explain to you how that's murder. I'm too much of a coward to face you face to face, so I'm going to kill your offspring. That's what that is. You can't face me face to face, so you're going to kill my baby? That's being a coward. You go after innocent people, you are being coward. I'll tell you a little bit about my life. In the olden days, in the culture back in the 1800s and early 1900s, if a woman was found beating her husband, it was considered an embarrassment for her husband to be going through any of that. If a wife decided to be in control of the household, it was considered a disrespect to the family. For generations, for centuries, it was considered to be a disrespect to the household, and it was a shamed upon look for the woman to think that she could have control over her husband. My ex-wife thought that it was a great idea to have control over her family. To have control over me. So she didn't take my last name when we got married. Then she started abusing me, mentally and physically abusing me, attacking me every single chance she got. And her mother backed her up in this. Her sister backed her up in this. We supposedly had a child that I don't even know is mine. He doesn't have my last name, and I was told very clearly on multiple occasions that he was not my son. I said to her, "You have 6 months." She hit me every single day. Literally would hit me every time she disagreed with me, every time she had an argument with me, every time I said something that was out of line by her standards. For 6 months, I put up with her. Did not hit her back. I said things to her. I corrected her. I said, "Look, you have no right to hit me." On that 6 months note, we broke up and I made her pay for the divorcement. I made her pay for the $40,000 or however much the divorce cost. Because I wasn't going to pay it. She begged me to come back. She would stalk me for months, for years after this. Please come back. Please, I love you. Please come back. Treat me with respect. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want your last name. I don't want any respect of you. Well, then you're not having me back. You're a disrespecting cow. And your mother is a disrespecting cow. And your sister is a disrespecting cow. And women who act like that in this society, who think that they have something over a man because they have a vagina, or because they have money, or because of whatever it is that their little mind think that they have over the man, that's demonic. That's evil. That is not of God. There's a reason our society is set up with the man in charge and the woman takes the last name of the man. So my thing comes out as this. As I think about all this, as I look at all this, I am looking at a reality, at a world that is in complete devastation because we have allowed our society to become corrupt. From the top down, we have become completely corrupt. And I'm going to say Joe Biden's corrupt. I'm not saying Trump's corrupt. I don't see any corruption in him. He's been found innocent to a point they're expunging all of his impeachment trials. All 2 of his impeachment trials are being expunged from the record. Where Biden is being impeached right now and is going to be tried for treason, Trump's impeachment record is being expunged. I can accuse you. I can impeach you. But if you're not guilty, then the impeachment is not complete. Impeachment means I'm taking you to trial because I believe that you are incorrect. I believe that you have committed the act of treason and high crimes. If found guilty, you have been impeached. You have to be found guilty. He was acquitted both times. And in every single case they've added since then, he's been acquitted. What does acquit mean? Acquit means the progressor, the attacker, the prosecutor had to quit his attack because he had nothing of value. Acquitting means to stop the attack because you have nothing of value. So they're expunging those things from his record. But this is way worse than Trump. This is way worse than what Trump could handle. Trump can handle a good bit because he's a businessman. But he's not a savior. He's not a God. He's not a Messiah. He is just a man. This country is corrupt because we've allowed our morals to plummet into the depths of hell. It's okay to kill babies. It's okay to be homosexuals. It's okay to be pedophiles. It's okay to cut little boys' and little girls' body parts. It's okay to have sex slave trafficking, the highest slave trafficking in the world in the human history is going on at our border right now. Oh, but we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to acknowledge that. Democrats are morons. The left are morons. And this is a question I always pose to everybody. Find me the alt-right. Find me the alt-right. I don't see any alt-right. I don't see any alt-right burning down buildings. That was all Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I don't see any alt-right causing havoc and chaos. The only alt-right you see is the Tea Party. What was the Tea Party did? They cleaned up every single time they had a rally. It was cleaner than when they left than when they entered into the field. So the Tea Party is supposedly alt-right? Oh, wow. Never a racist word, never set fire to anybody, never hit anybody, never burned down cars, never tried to kill police officers. Oh, but they're alt-right. They're not alt-right. The Tea Party's not alt-right. They're mid, if anything. They're more left than I am. So it baffles me. It really baffles me that all these people say, well, the alt-right is so awful, the alt-right is so awful. Well, what is the alt-right? You know what the right wants to do? Do you know what the conservative wants to do? He wants peace. He wants to be left alone. The people who want fights are the ones who want to cause havoc, are the ones who are killing babies. If you agree with killing babies, you're on their side. The same equal as a Nazi, the same equal as Adolf Hitler. They're on that side. Hitler is on the same side as baby killing. So let's list the people who are on Hitler's side. The KKK on Hitler's side. Black Lives Matter on Hitler's side. Antifa on Hitler's side. Anybody who agrees with any of those teachings on Hitler's side. LGBTQPRSP, quad angle, I don't know what to call that damn thing. The movement of the homosexual society is on that side. But yet the so-called alt-right are called Nazis. But there are no Nazis. There are no alt-right. Who are the alt-right? Are MAGA the alt-right? No, MAGA's far left. So who's on the right? Because what does the right want to do? The right wants to be left alone. You ever talk to a real conservative? You ever sat down and talked to a conservative who doesn't know anything about the Constitution, doesn't know anything about what's going on in politics? Why don't they know about what's going on in politics? Because they barely have electricity in their building. The only reason they have electricity is because they've been living off the grid for the last 60 years. A true alt-right person is probably living in the ground somewhere with safety and food. They want to be left alone. They have a little chicken farm that runs around their house. In one part of their house, and their house is under the ground, and you're not going to find them. They have 1 or 2 shotguns and a couple of rifles so they can go hunting. But you are not going to find them. You aren't finding them because they aren't going to be found. They're going to be left alone. So the only group that's out here, the only side of the argument that's out here who screams the most, yells the most, kills the most babies. Oh, kills babies, not the most. They're the only ones doing it. Who allows sex trafficking and slave trafficking, the highest slave trafficking in the world. I got to reiterate that because last I checked, the Republicans ended slavery. And the Democrats just brought it back. The only ones doing any violence, the only ones that are doing anything are the left. I'm not fully alt-right because I'm on YouTube. I deal with people all the time. But if I was fully alt-right, you would not see me. You would not know my name. You would not know where I was. You would not know I exist. I would be a whisper in the wind of existence. But because I live amongst the left, and I have to deal with the left, be of them but not of them, be around them but not think like them, I've lived my whole life living around people who believe it's okay to kill babies. And I want to put as many babies as I possibly can on this planet. And I have. I put a good bit of babies on this planet. I'm a daddy. I'm going to put more babies on this planet. I want more babies. I love making babies. I love babies. Let's put more babies on this planet. More babies. We might not be baby kids, but we don't die and we do multiply. But anyways, the truth of the matter is, if you want to kill babies, you're going to hell. If you want to be a homosexual, guess what? You're going to hell. If you want to go cut up a little boy and little girl's junk, guess where you're going? Hell. If you're okay with the slave sex trafficking that's going on in our country to a point that we're now at a $40 trillion economy from it, the biggest economy in the world is in America. And it has nothing to do with me. The biggest economy in the world. And the CIA, the FBI, all the major players in this country are making a good bit of money off it. They stopped dealing with drugs. The CIA deals in drugs. The FBI deals in drugs. The major government deals in drugs. Yeah. But let's talk about the massive amount of human trafficking. You know how much an individual person costs? Well, if they're a grown man, my age is $7,000. For me to cross from Mexico into America, that's $7,000. A woman my age is $15,000. To cross from Mexico to America, $15,000. A boy that's under the age of 10 years old, $30,000. A little girl under the age of 10 years old, start at 10, under the age of 10 years old is $50,000. Every single child you see coming up that border is being paid for, is being bought. And we know it traveled out. They're being bused to Washington, D.C. They're being bused to places where they can be put up and sold and trade to the highest bidders for whatever economic decision that the seller decides, if he wants gold or silver or money. And it's happening right here in America because the Democrats wanted a border open because they wanted this. The Republicans were started to stop two things. They stopped slavery and they stopped polygamy. Democrats always wanted one thing: to own everything. The mentality of the Marxists, the mentality of the selfish sinner. I don't want to own anything but my own land. I don't want anything from you. I don't want to be near you. Don't come near me. I'll shoot you. That's how I look at the situation. The only reason I'm talking to you is to tell you about Jesus so you can get saved. Other than that, I can care so little for you, it's not even funny. But I'm a nice person, so I'll care for you. I'll love you. I will. And like my ex-wife used to say to me all the time, my ex-wife and her mother used to have this great saying, John, if we saw you on the side of the road and you were on fire, we wouldn't even stop to piss to put you out. Well, unlike my ex-wife and her demonic mother and demonic sister, I would stop and get a bucket of water and I would put you out. And then I'd bandage up all your wounds and take you to the hospital and make sure you were okay. That's the difference between a Christian and a Satanist. The Satanist will let you burn and die. The Christian will spend money on making sure that you live, and you live good. So, you want to be what you want to be with? Like Mama Jew, Adrian Mintz. She just flat out said to me that killing babies was her best idea. And she's a Jew. You know, Moses would stone her. Joshua would stone her. David would stone her. Saul would stone her. Any Jew that agrees with the Democrat Party, any Jew that agrees with killing a baby, remember, Moses would stone you. Any Christian that agrees or okay with abortion, remember, Jesus said it is better for a millstone to be tied around your neck and you thrown into the deepest part of the ocean than what he's going to do. Might be a good point to think about that. It is a fearful thing to fall in the hands of a living God when you don't believe in God. But as for me, a believer in Jesus Christ, I'm happy to fall into the hands of my living God, Yahweh. I hope you have a beautiful Sabbath. I hope you learned something from this. And I hope you realize that all you on the left, you need to start turning right. Yahweh Yeshua Adonai Elohim, Shabbat Shalom. We thank you for a beautiful Sabbath. We thank you for a beautiful day. We ask Yahweh that you continue to make this day a great day of rest, a great day of supplement, supplying to those who are of you, truly of you, and bringing the good and enlarging our territory. We love you, Yahweh Yeshua Adonai Eloheinu. We love you so much. You're an awesome, amazing, true, love, kind God, and you are just. And we know that you are going to avenge. You are going to take and destroy the enemy and his followers. And we thank you for that. We thank you that judgment is coming. The terrible day of the Lord, as Micah called it, as Nahum called it, as Jeremiah called it, and Isaiah called it, is coming. The terrible day of the Lord is soon to be here, and you are going to judge the wicked, and you are going to save the righteous. I thank you, Yahweh Yeshua, Jesus, for being my salvation, for being my Savior. In your name, Yeshua Adonai Eloheinu, I pray all these things. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, people.